All right, good morning. It is spring break, first official day, and I really wanted to go to Peru, but the more I looked into it and just the cost of everything from Colombia, Bogota to Machu Picchu, it was just insane. So I looked online yesterday and I saw what aircraft has some available seats for my flight tonight. Anywhere in the world. I was typing in Bangkok, I was typing in Philippines. I did not care. Greece. So the place that has spots available is Australia. So I guess I'm going to the land down under, baby. And you need a visa for Australia, and it says that it could take up to 48 hours. I got it within 12 minutes. Okay, if you just download the app, just type in Australia visa, you should be able to get it there. Or if not, type into Google eta.immi.gov.au, and hopefully it's that easy for you. So let's start getting ready. I leave in 12 hours. Okay, so this is how I look. I got my backpack on and I have my gym duffel bag. Honestly, I think it just looks like a lot because I'm short. But it's not that much, right? I was honestly in disbelief that this was happening. It just happened so quick. I had 12 hours and here we are. Eating dinner on a plane. This was macaroni with something else. Do you remember? A brownie, a salad, and of course the typical bread with cheese. And once we flew over Peru, I was still in disbelief that I was going this far. This airplane ride is so long. I think it was 16 hours. Crazy. We were just past the quarter mark, and we had a little bit of a snack, egg salad sandwich, and a little bit of a biscotta, which was really good, but it's full of sugar. Now morning time. I have been in and out of sleep, and look, we are so close. And then we had breakfast. I chose the pancakes with the applesauce and some fruits. And of course, because we are entering a new content country, we had to fill out this visa form. And here we go. Okay, just landed. They didn't even ask me for my visa or anything. So chill. I even told border security that I just flew here on a whim, and he thought that was super awesome. So now we're just gonna go find a train. Seems pretty easy so far. Thank you. Opal. All right. She said this is worth it because just for me to get to town hall right now is $23, and this is $50. Will get me anywhere. Keep in mind, you do not need to buy a whole card. As I was going to travel with this on trains and buses during my duration here, I decided that this would be the easiest route for me instead of just buying single tickets every time. Right away, I noticed that the trains here are so clean, and I love that they have a conductor who whistles off when the train is about to leave. The monitor in the screen wasn't working, so I never knew what stop we were at until I looked out my window and I saw it kind of plastered on the wall sometimes, or even here as it is on the bench. Thank God for that. Okay, this is the hard part for me, is navigating which street to turn on because I'm just unable to read directions. So I'm just gonna start walking and check the GPS. Since I have no SIM card, it's just me following the little blue dot. Okay, so trying to find my hostel, I was a little turned around because I just didn't understand where the location was. Turns out it was actually down a back alleyway. So in Australia, these back alleyways look like normal roads, but they just kind of lead to parkades, and they're so clean though compared to North American back alleyways. Okay, I just saw that they're doing a free walking tour. I see the group. I'm going in. Okay, so I'm dehydrated. My backpack is still on because the baggage room in the hostel was so full. I could only put one bag in there. But yeah, we got onto the tour, so yay! So right away we are told that these buildings were built in the 1800s, 1866, I believe she said. And just because I'm a walk-on, they were just very kind because all these other people signed up. And you don't pay right away, you actually pay afterwards, whatever you feel like they deserve. So it's super well organized for people on a budget, like me.
Down and build a car park. So luckily, a Malaysian company has come in and taken out a
So right outside this cool looking station, St. James, there's this huge park over here, and you're gonna see a lot of these birds. So the reason why the Australian coat of arms is a kangaroo and an emu is because these are the two animals that cannot walk backwards. And they thought this was a very powerful thing. They're always moving ahead, always very strong. But that was obviously made before cameras and video footage of the fact that they actually can go backwards. So Sydney got inspired by Melbourne's art decoration, and there's a little bit of a rivalry between the cities and the states. You'll learn that on the walking tour. But here they actually implemented it with nature. They put a speaker in every single cage to kind of mimic the sound of a native bird that can't thrive in the city anymore. Ah, so sad.
sketches about historical buildings as well. It's very clever, very
All right, so I don't know if I've ever tried sugar cane, but let's go ahead and try this lemon ginger sugar cane. That's spicy. I like it. Yeah, definitely more gingery, but the sugar cane makes it sweet. That's good stuff. Damn. This was $9.
But nowadays, Customs House is a tourist information centre. So if you need anything while you're here in Sydney, you can head over to the desk and they will happily answer any questions. That will lead you onto the Chinese Friendship Garden, where there is a really lovely restaurant tucked away beside the koi pond. They do incredible dumplings there. It's called One Dining. And that will lead you onto Chinese. They do coffee, snacks, beer, wine, cocktails, food, and those floor-to-ceiling windows give you a pretty excellent vantage point. By 84%. The diseases
So after all that touring, I made friends, and right now I'm just feeling my body going. So I'm gonna go eat, grab a flat white, check into my hostel, and then go on another tour. Wow, these tours are phenomenal. Okay, so excited to see if the ramen here is legit. We're gonna find out, baby. I clearly was unwell because I finished that entire bowl. I know, it doesn't look like it, but trust me, I'm feeling heavy. So this is our dorm. I was finally able to like fully check in, choose a bed. It's first come, first serve. And I decided to take a bottom bunk closer to the window because I thought being beside the door would be louder. Oh, honey, was I wrong. But cool storage unit and a curtain. Okay, so I just laid down for 2 hours, was on the phone with somebody, and now I'm gonna go attempt to join this second tour of On the Rocks with the same company. The only thing is, this time I decided to be a good girl and reserve a spot online, and it's full. So still gonna walk down there, still gonna attempt to walk on, so we'll see what happens. And if you're wondering, is this still the same day that I landed? You are correct. This tour was much further away. It took me about 35 minutes to walk there. So as I was walking there, I was just going to a bunch of stores and a moment of silence for all the perished kangaroos. Oh my God, I am in shock here. I got the New York Kentucky cheesecake. Mmm. Damn, that's rich. Mm-mm-mm. So this is where all the boats go, and you could just use that card. I think it's called the Opal on these ferry rides, and it just takes you to the other beach or the other side of Sydney. So if you ever do a walk along the bridge and you dock off there, you could always just take a ferry back here. 3 minutes long, and it doesn't even cost that much. I believe every bus and boat ride in this city, besides coming from the airport, is $18. Okay, so this is the second meetup point for the tour. Hopefully they're gonna let me join. One thing about Australia is I've never seen so many men in suits just wandering the streets. Like, if you want to find a man in finance, this is the country. Okay, so this is the oldest building here, and now it's just used for storage, but it's safe. Nobody can touch it, and it's right across from the water. A little bit of old with a little bit of new.
Travel,
Research on my own, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, I have this one in front of you.
Don't worry, I'm a professional. I got
This is old. This is the Argyle Cut. Okay? Governor Lachlan Macquarie, one of our early governors.
I love how they have so many portraits of how it used to look like here. So cute.
Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting because a lot of things have been rebuilt in the 1900s. About to go do the bridge climb. The YouTube this later. Watch a little Spain. Okay, so this is the second oldest pub here, and apparently in the 1800s they would get everybody super drunk for free beers all night, and then they would sign them over to the Navy. So that's how they got the recruits.
Not to protect from the outside,
The observatory.
to protect from inside, from the Irish. We had a lot of Irish rebels sent here in 1804, about 200 of them, and they were so terrified of them cementing rebellion. They didn't put them in Sydney. They went 12 kilometres to the west and started a new settlement called Castle Hill. So they figured, keep them over there. They were still quite paranoid about them, so they started building a fort up there, just go right there. You could basically see Castle Hill from up there. And they were possibly right to be worried, because in 1811,
Okay, so compared to the first tour of the day, which was 2.5 hours long, this one was only about an hour, and it was just mainly about the criminals who got docked off in Australia. So it's quite educational, but there was actually not too much to talk about or see, which is really disappointing. Okay, so it is nighttime. I'm feeling quite safe, but at the very end of our tour, there was a very intoxicated man who was kind of bothering us a little bit. So besides that, everything is muy bien, but it is also St. Patrick's Day, so go figure. Let's see if every other night is gonna be okay. Okay, so I was recommended to go to the store called Kohl's. I just bought some food. Let's go see what I bought for $12.50. This is definitely a booming corner. Okay, found one that's actually right beside my hostel, so I'll probably be coming here more often. Just bought some yogurts and some protein things for $7, so let's add everything up. This was the ramen place that had the huge bowl for only like $19. Hostel life, living out of 2 little bags, washing my face. Oh my goodness. And here's a glimpse of how the washrooms look like at this hostel. Everything is made out of concrete. This is the biggest washroom we have on this floor, but there's a washroom on every floor, about 4, I believe. So yeah, everything's concrete. Interesting. All right, let's keep getting ready. Okay, so these 2 yogurts plus this bag of protein puffs, this costed me around $7. And these 2 avocados, 2 tuna cans, and this amazing huge pressed juice costed me $12. All right, guys, what a long day. All right, I'm going to stop that right there. But thank you so much for watching. This is part 1 of Australia, mate. I have 3 parts coming out. I'm going to do one whole beach part. So if you just tuned in to watch the coast, Bondi, then go ahead and click that video. Subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and like and comment below. What should have I done in Sydney, or how can have I done my trip a little better? Because I am, traveling cheap. I'm also traveling solo, and I felt so safe. I just felt so free. So I kind of was just doing my thing. Anyways, guys, check out my other videos to check out the coast. I'm going to go to the opera house, and I'm going to do a bunch of eating and walking. So thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Bye.